It's an awesome day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, wherever you're watching us across the world. I'm super delighted to welcome you to another insightful, educative, and of course, inspiring episode of Property Matters here on YouTube. In case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, my name is Adejare, and I'm your anchor of Property Matters. Property Matter is a real estate YouTube talk show where we expose you to everything you need to know about real estate. We talk about facts, we talk about checks, we talk about, we give in detailed reports on different activities, government policies. We've gone even as far as, talking and giving different, sessions on how you can identify a fraudulent real estate transaction, how you can identify a fraudulent real estate practitioner. We've even gone further to talk about how you can even ascertain land titles. We talked about unmoney issues. We have a whole lot of, educative content here for you on Property Matters. So after watching this particular educative guide, please do well to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, invite your friends and families to also, subscribe. And if you have anybody who is interested in real estate transaction, who does not understand the way the real estate market works, this channel is actually designed to give you step-by-step approach on what you need to do. More importantly, our focus and our aim is to ensure that you don't lose a dime to any form of real estate investment here in the beautiful city of Lagos, Nigeria. Once again, do well to subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber and a returning viewer, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And if you're coming for the first time, thank you very much as well. I'll be back immediately after this short commercial. Don't go nowhere. All right, you're welcome back once again. I want to say a very quick thank you to everybody that has been following us, and for those who have also subscribed, thank you very much. So today I'm going to be talking about 3 ways through which a land banking investment can go wrong. So I'm going to be talking about 3 important ways, through which a land banking investment, can go wrong if you are investing either as a first-time investor or a serial investor. All right, the reason why we're making this video basically is due to the fact that we've had a lot of people who have been making inquiries about properties in Epe. And I presently met a real estate investor who said she wished she had seen my video, or she had met us earlier. She wouldn't have made some terrible real estate investments that cost her a huge amount of money. And when you're doing real estate investment in Lagos, there are some certain things you need to put into consideration. More importantly, there are some important, important parameters that you also need to put in check so that you ensure that you are not making a terrible investment decisions. Yes, you can make mistakes in Lagos if you are investing. More importantly, if you are not doing it with a seasoned professional, I cannot always emphasize or overemphasize, the importance of doing your real estate investments through a seasoned professional. All right, so we're going to be talking about 3 ways through which a land banking investment can go wrong. The first thing is that a land banking investment can go wrong when you encroach on either government properties or individual properties. What do I mean by that? Some landed properties presently in Lagos are like time bomb that is waiting for the accurate period to explode. And when this problem was burst out, it will be a catastrophic experience and a regrettable action for either the seller or the buyer. And when we talk about the issues of encroachment, in fact, even some properties that have all the hype, that have all the reputation, after we did a lot of digging, most of those properties did not pass through what we call our integrity test. Yes, we subject every real estate investment to what we call an integrity test, and there are parameters and lay down rules that we use to evaluate a property before we make recommendations. Now, when we talk about encroachment, there have been cases. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this basically is that there is a police station called the Zone 2, and the Zone 2 is a renowned police station that is used to handle any land related disputes, whether an unmoney has resold to several persons or the developer has been swindled. Yes, they report such cases to Zone 2. And there's also another police station called the Alagbon police station And then 70% of the cases of real estate that we have in Alagbon right now are the cases of encroachment. And the question is, what exactly are the main causes of encroachment? And how can you, real estate investor, avoid encroaching on a land that should not be trampled upon? We gave a clear scenario of how some military officials took larger possession of real estate, of some properties, and after our due diligence, we found out that the people that sold that property actually encroached on the property that belongs to the military. And it is like a cycle, okay? And these things keep happening, and with the fact that a lot of people don't understand how to do a thorough property background check to ensure. Now, if you want to ascertain if a property has been encroached, it is not a day's job, it is not a week's job, and sometimes it is not a month's job. I've seen instances whereby some parcels of land have been sold far back in 1990, 1992, 1994. And unfortunately, maybe the person that bought the property may be late, okay? There have been several instances of people buying properties, and because of the fact that some members of their families are not aware, okay, they tend to lose that property. Now, what happened basically is that if any member of the man's family got to see the documents, these people make claims, or they lay claims on the property that their father or that their relative have bought, okay? And when they present a proper documentation and a good case in court, they win. In fact, sometimes Lagos State government is even planning to lay a very serious fine on encroachment. So there have been instances whereby what is being sold to some real estate companies are properties that some Omonile deliberately encroach, thereby putting the investor and the developer into serious problem. There have been cases of properties being taken to court, the both parties being in court. I know a situation of a court that has been on for 2004 till date is still on. I know of one that started in 2020, they are still going to court, and there are several court cases. Now, the thing is that when you go for a physical inspection to that property, in some cases, there is no obvious sign of litigation or obvious signs of encroachment. And this is where the knowledge and the experience of your real estate practitioner will come into play. I've said it before several times that I was about, even at myself, buying the property, but I decided to employ the service of someone who understands that location. There's instances whereby we pay people, okay, in that location to give us information that we will investigate further. There have been instances whereby we go to places, we stay in those places just to find out if that family that wants to sell that land has not sold to people. Now, talking about how to identify if a land has been sold to multiple disputes, it is not always easy to deduce. It's not always easy to unravel. So it takes experience, it takes so much before we can find out. And that is why sometimes it is very important to do a critical check on the title deed. So encroachment. So if you have bought a property that has been encroached, either knowingly or unknowingly by the real estate developer, forget it. You don't have the property. And a land banking investment will certainly go wrong, okay, if there is an issue of encroachment. The second thing basically is that a real estate investment can also go wrong, okay, the moment the developer or the seller does not take full possession of the land. Now, when we talk about possession, excuse me, when we talk about possession, what many people call possession today is a part of a whole. Now, when we talk about possession, many people believe that once there's a fence and there's a gatehouse, the developer has taken to. There are a lot of lands that have fence and gatehouse that today court has given order to return it back to the rightful owner. not only in the Ibeju Lekki, but even in some larger parts of the highland. A lot of people have taken some people to court, and after some lengthy period of litigation and legal tussles, court has directed those who paid millions of naira, okay, to the property to either return the property to the owner, or they renegotiate and they rebuy it from the actual owner. So what shows that the developer has taken possession of the land is not just the gatehouse. The gatehouse is like a part of an entire whole. There are still several other things that the real estate developer needs to do. Number one, registering the deed of purchase with the necessary authorities at Alausa in Ikeja. Once they have done the deed, okay, and it is registered, is also a part of taking full possession of the large expanse of land that you have bought from the family. Now, because of the fact that there's some amount of money, okay, that will be levied as taxes, some real estate development company are not registering their deed with the appropriate authorities in Lagos, more importantly in Alausa. And that is why when we have several court cases and you want to use some evidences, not having a registered deed from the buyer is a clear case of what? Not taking full possession. And like I said, some of them are trying to evade taxes, and that's why. Then the next thing that you also need to understand is that some of these real estate development companies don't even do a registered survey on the large expanse of land they are selling, which is wrong. I was vetting a survey of a real estate development company. I think it has over 20 acres, and the entire 20 acres was done on a provisional copy. So how do you tell a case? Many of them are still laying copies of the old surveys, okay, that the family they bought from presented to them. So there are a lot of irregularities, and you see, when your developer is not putting all these things, taking full possession, number one, by registering the deed, number two, by registering the survey in lands. If your survey is not registered in the name of the developer, in most cases, when it gets to court case, you don't have a case. You don't have anything you want to say, because if the document is still reading the name of the buyer, then you want to put this into consideration. So you need to understand that the person you are buying from is taking what? Accurate possession. When take accurate, I'm talking about total possession, by doing the documentation, okay, from where they bought it from to their own company's name. By the time they've done that, they are taking full possession. So if a real estate company did not do all these things I've outlined, and you have bought a land banking investment in them, that land banking investment can go wrong, because when legal tussles come in the future, they don't have a case, because those documents is still portraying the name of the old owner, despite the fact there's a deed. But once that deed is not registered, okay, and they are not doing what they're supposed to do, okay, they won't have a case. Also, on the area of documentation, title, a real estate investment can go wrong, okay, if the title. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. You see, those freehold, many people are buying in Epe. When the government gives a title, government recognize the person whose name is on the title. And that is why sometimes it is very important that you buy a property from a developer that pays attention to title perfection. I won't go beyond that. Then the final way, okay, that a real estate investment or a land banking investment can go wrong is when you buy from a developer that has history and records of what? Abandoning sites after it has been fully sold out. Something happened a few weeks ago. A colleague of mine that sold some large expanse of land somewhere around Ibeju Lekki called me and was calling my attention to something, and I was like, what is going on? And he said, he busted into tears. And I was like, what exactly happened? And he said, this estate was sold out in 2021, immediately after COVID. And it's just coming from that same estate now. And there's another developer that has taken possession. He said it was so bad that the real estate developer didn't even notify them that this was what happened and this is what they are doing to address the situation. What made it very easier and convenient for Omonile to resell what they sold to you, more importantly, is when you sell and you have abandoned it to start other projects, it's a likelihood that there will be what? There will be encroachment and there might be possible resale of that same property. So if you have bought a real estate or a land banking investment from a developer that has history and evidences of abandoning projects, your real estate investment or a land banking investment will certainly go wrong. So you need to understand that a developer that does not focus on development, that does not focus on putting the basic infrastructure on the land banking they've sold to you, it doesn't matter whether the place will not experience development maybe 2-3 years from now. There are still some things you need to be doing on your site that will keep reminding Monile that I have not forgotten that I bought land here. Now, in that case, in some scenarios, okay, I've seen scenarios whereby many of them have several. So one real estate company can have 40 properties. So in fact, in some cases, they can even forget that I get land here. That obviously is on the lighter note. So if you're buying from a developer that has cases of abandonment, your investment can go wrong. More importantly, if that person does not pay priority to development and now on the place of that abandonment is on both sides. It's not just on the area of the development. Now, if you have bought a landed property and there is no development there, once you have your allocation, give out your land to people that want to farm. Give it. If you have acres, let people start planting cassava on your land. Let them start planting maybe maize, or they can start maybe poultry business or anything on your land. See, the moment there are activities on that land, okay, and they are different, and Omonile are saying that these people have not forgotten that they bought land from us. Do you understand? It gives them the impression that we have sold. Now, there are several cases in zone 2 right now of families selling one land to like 40 real estate developers. And surprisingly, these guys are fighting each other. Excuse me, please. These guys are fighting each other. So, a real estate investment or a land banking investment will certainly go wrong if you buy from a developer that will just put fence, abandon, allow wind to grow. Some site has grown to the point that even shrubs and weeds, okay, have covered some of the corner piece. So sometimes it becomes extremely difficult, okay, for real estate investors to even locate where it has been allocated for you. Now, it will also go wrong, okay, when you, the real estate investor, you have paid for land since 2021, 2020, you did not collect your allocation. Pardon me, that is even the worst part of it. Because the thing is that as long as you have not been allocated, you don't have a land. That's just a fact. So if you have bought properties and you have not paid for your statutory fees, you have not collected allocation, that real estate investment you don't even need a soothsayer tell you that real estate investment, it has gone wrong. And that fault is from you. So please pay up your statutory fees and get your paper so that you can point that this is where my property is, this is where I've been allocated. So these are, okay, the ways through which a land banking investment can go wrong. I hope you found value today. Until I come your way again in another exciting and of course educative section of Property Matters, do well to subscribe, and of course you can call us for your next property investment. Thank you and bye for now.